Well, hello, glorious people of the interwebs, and welcome back to Red Dead Online. I know many of you are probably frustrated with the current state of the game, and the fact that the GTA Online Casino update is going to be dropping before we get the summer update, or even hear any actual legitimate updates on the update itself. And, you know, I feel ya. The frustration is real in the community. I see it every day in the comments. I see it every day when I read stuff on Twitter. It's kind of disheartening, but I do think, and I'll get into exactly why I think this, that the GTA Casino DLC being first is probably the right move for Rockstar. We're going to get into that today and the current state of Red Dead Online and all that stuff. This is going to be another one of those like podcast-style videos where not a lot of really interesting stuff is happening on the screen, but I do think we have interesting things to discuss in today's video, so I do hope you all enjoy this. Without further ado, the Casino DLC is dropping this Tuesday. And on the last news wire that Rockstar dropped, they did say that in the coming weeks we would get information about the summer DLC. Now, I don't think we're going to get any legitimate, real information this coming Tuesday. They may drop some information pertaining to maybe some additional things that may be coming in the summer update, and I think that would be a really good idea, getting people hyped for some new features. I think that would be great. I don't think we're going to get a like an announcement on a release date this Tuesday, because I think a lot of the focus is going to be strictly on GTA Online and the casino updates. Now, I know a lot of people are frustrated. They wanted to see the summer update for Red Dead Online first, and I feel like there's not a lot of content in Red Dead Redemption Online, and I do think there is a significant downside to continuing to let Red Dead Online go without a lot of content. It's really not a great first player experience right now. There's a lot of new people trying to get into the game that haven't played yet. You can see it because when you go into the player menu, there's a lot of new low-level players. Maybe people are starting over, we don't really know, but there do seem to be a lot of new players starting now. And the experience is really toxic in Red Dead Online right now. People are bored and they spend their entire time trolling new players and old players alike because they find entertainment in making people miserable. I wish that wasn't the case, but that seems to be what people enjoy to do in their free time when there's no actual laws or anything that can actually get them in trouble for doing it. So that's what they choose to do, and there's really no stopping it at the moment. I have mentioned some ideas to make this a little bit more of a better experience for honorable and dishonorable players to make it more fun. I'm hoping Rockstar starts to implement some of these types of things in the future. I think it would be, there's a lot of stuff that could really be fun for those honorable and dishonorable characters, because I have stated in the past that trolling does deserve a place in Red Dead Online, but there also needs to be repercussions and advantages to doing that. And the same thing for being honorable. That being said, let's get back to the issue at hand, the lack of the summer DLC. Now, the reason I do think that it's a good thing that it's taking longer is because this really does need to knock it out of the park. It needs to be the best stuff that we've gotten in Red Dead Online. It really needs to fix a lot of the problems, and quite frankly, the servers and the state of the game right now isn't ready for a large content package. It's just not. Like, the game barely works right now. Stranger missions are really bad. The servers are extremely laggy, and I think this has a lot to do with various things. The servers really just can't handle the game at the moment, and there needs to be a lot of optimization on the online side. And I'm hoping that, you know, this delay, if you want to call it that, or extension in the time it's going to take for the summer update, is going to bring a lot of fixes, as well as, you know, a lot of really good content to the game for those free roam players and people who don't want to be in game modes all the time. And I really do think it's going to change the way Red Dead Online is played. There's no animals. This is ridiculous. I need to find some ducks because I need some explosive ammo. I was hoping to get some deer meat and stuff along the way, but let's go over and try and get some ducks. But I do think that in the long run, this is going to be good for Red Dead Online in a few different ways. You know, when we release content on YouTube or anything that you really want to get excited for, you want it to be, you know, like released after something that's really hyped. Like movies will do this too. When you want your movie to really succeed, you don't want to release like a movie along with like Avengers Endgame or something like that. You want it to be able to succeed in its own right and not be taken down by other content that's available at that time. And I think that's exactly what Rockstar is doing by releasing the Casino DLC first. They've stated already that they want Red Dead Redemption 2 to be the future moneymaker for the company. And if they really do think that, and they do have faith in the summer update bringing a lot of good content, then they would want to release that after the Casino DLC. And, I'm really thinking that the summer update is going to knock it out of the park because we did not see it release before the Casino update. I feel like if they didn't have a lot of faith in it, and it wasn't going to be great, they would have released it first, and that way that the end of the day narrative could be how good the Casino DLC is going to be. I have a feeling the Casino DLC is going to be maybe not as great as what everybody's really hoping it's going to be. It might not have a lot of content at the end of the day. I mean, a lot of people have been really, really wanting to be able to gamble in GTA for a long time, and it's been something that's been sought after since the game released so very long ago. And it's been a long time since GTA actually got an update, so it really did need an update, maybe even before Red Dead, even though Red Dead has very little content, and there is definitely a solid argument to be said about that. But the content that Red Dead Online needs to have is far greater quality than I think what Red Dead Online currently needs. Feel free to agree or disagree in the comments below. I do want to have a conversation about this, but right now, the content from now on for Red Dead really needs to be of supreme quality to really win people over and get people talking about how good Red Dead Online is again. Because quite frankly, when there's new content, people really enjoy playing Red Dead Online. The problem is there's just not a lot of content. It gets very repetitive very quickly because at the end of the day, while the summer update or a spring update did bring a lot of good content to the game, it was really in the form of fixes and balances and making the game more enjoyable, somewhat fixing the economy, making things a little bit better when you're trying to farm up money. A lot of people will say that there's still a major issue with the economy, and I think it's a very complicated thing because on one side, you have things that are very expensive, but on the other side, you have really not a lot of things worth buying in the game. That's really a discussion for a whole video or a whole discussion with Rockstar to begin with, because there's a lot of factors that go into that and really a lot of balancing that still needs to be done. But at the end of the day, things are both expensive, but then once you have the things you want, there's nothing to buy. There's nothing really worth getting if you spend your money properly. Really, the most expensive thing are pamphlets and ability cards, which is really what is the game changer in the game. Those are incredibly expensive, and I do agree with that. But there is a distinct lack of things actually worth buying in the game. But back to the actual summer DLC, I do think we're going to be getting it sometime around August 13th or August 20th. That would make it an actual mid-summer update here in the States. I know a lot of people overseas are like, summer's basically over already, but for us here in the States, it really only just began at the very end of June. So we're not that far into summer as it is. We still have until almost the end of September for summer to end here in the States, although the kids do start going back to school here very soon. Some at the end of August, and then some all the way out until the beginning of September. It's really like a staggered you start school release kind of thing. I don't know what to call it, but it is what it is. I would have liked to see the summer update obviously come sooner. I mean, everybody would have loved to see the content come sooner. I think I'm actually full on meat now. I'm just kind of spacing out. What I really need is more duck meat. Yeah, we're full on meat. Okay. What kind of bird are you, homie? Stupid raven. Nobody loves you. Go away. But yeah, I think maybe Tuesday we might... I'd say at about a 10% chance of actually getting some more information about the summer update on Tuesday. I think the narrative is really going to be solely focused on the Casino DLC. And then maybe the following week we'll get some additional information. And the week after that, we might actually see them start hinting at when the update is going. Whoa, my God. That was crazy. Is that a player? Did it just disappear? Sweet baby Jesus. I have no idea what just happened. That was nuts. But I am anticipating probably August 13th, August 20th, give or take a week on either side. But they really do need to wait for the hype from the Casino DLC to drop before we get the Red Dead Online update. I think they really want the narrative to be on how successful Red Dead Redemption 2 is after the summer update. And if they really want Red Dead Online to be their cash cow into the future, then it does make sense. And there's a lot of potential for Red Dead Online. You know, I've been playing a little bit of GTA Online. I gotta say, I love being in the world of Red Dead Online more. It's just, there's just a distinct lack of content. There's so much potential here, especially for RP style stuff, and being able to really do what Rockstar has said, where you create the world around you for your character. You really evolve your character over time. It's never going to be something in Red Dead Online where you log on and you can have, like, be the CEO of a massive business within an hour. They really want to evolve your character over time, where, you know, I've stated this before, where they've mentioned if you're a bounty hunter, eventually being able to be a lawman in a city, or if you start as a trader, you have a, you know, you're trading stuff for your camp, to eventually owning a business in Saint Denis. And I think that's a great way, because it'll really tie your character into the world and become more immersive. And I think that's the way that Rockstar is going to go with Red Dead Online into the future, and that requires a lot of work. You know, a lot of narrative stuff, a lot of probably mechanics. Hopefully new mechanics coming to Red Dead Online would be really nice. Obviously, a lot of stuff is still probably going to be fetches. That's how it is in every game, you know. Everything's evolved around fetch quests and stuff like that. But if they add a twist to it and make it a little bit more exciting, I think it's going to be really good. But it does require a lot of work. But I do think it's a good sign. While it might suck that we're not going to have content for weeks, maybe even a month, over a month before we get new content in Red Dead Online, I do think that it's going to end up benefiting Red Dead Online and benefiting the players that do decide to come back and play it. So I know a lot of people are saying they're going to quit, they're not waiting anymore, and I do recommend, if you don't enjoy the game right now, then stop playing. You know, getting those daily rewards, really at the end of the day, I mean, it's okay to log on and get a daily challenge if that's really what you want to do. But if you really are just sick of it and you don't want to start hating the game, then, you know, put the controller down, play a different game. That's what I've been doing on the channel. I know a lot of people are upset that I haven't been releasing a lot of Red Dead content, but I don't want to burn the community out on boring content. I don't want to burn myself out, and I don't want to frustrate the community really anymore by overplaying something that they're upset with as well. So I'm taking a little bit of a break from playing the game every single day, and I'm enjoying other things like Detroit Become Human, Spider-Man. There's so many amazing games out there that you can distract yourself with while waiting for new content, and that will speak volumes to Rockstar that the community is upset as well. So it's really a two-pronged effort there, because, you know, the daily challenges are there to basically inflate their daily login numbers. I don't want to really say anything like that, but I mean, it's just the way it is, and we don't. I think at the end of the day, being patient and waiting for this update is really going to benefit us. Obviously, when the summer update drops and if it's terrible, then I will be right along with everybody saying, you know, it was an absolute waste of time. And if you, I'll be right there with you. I don't know how else to say it, but I do think right now that I'm excited for the future of Red Dead Online. I've been saying that since the beginning. I got a lot of crap for it from the start, but it has improved substantially. I know it's been 8 months, but it has gotten a lot better, and content does take a lot of time to make, especially if it's going to be good content. And they are short-staffed, and that's really, you know, an issue with Rockstar if they're not putting enough people to work on the development of Red Dead Online. I can't speak on why that is, if it is actually the case. But I guess we're gonna find out what happens during the summer update. You know, if the update's terrible, there's a solid chance that Red Dead Online might not really live successfully through it. I think at this point in time, with that almost being, well, by the time the summer update comes, it'll be what, 9-10 months. If the narrative doesn't change for Red Dead Online by that time, I think Red Dead Online might really start to struggle. But there's been a lot of really, I kind of want to make a video on this. There's been a lot of things going around about a DLC. And while I think a lot of the leaks and stuff on Reddit are indeed fake, I do believe that they are working on a DLC, because it would be very, very smart business decision to do it. And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, nah, they didn't release any for GTA 5, so they won't do it for this one. Oh, shut up. I know you're going to spam it in the comments anyways, but just go away. You don't have to go away, but I mean, Rockstar has expressed the exact reasoning why that happened, and we're kind of seeing that same cycle with Red Dead, where they're not able to put out content enough. But at the same time, Red Dead Online is not successful. There's obviously a hunger for that content, and there's a great potential for good content, and the community, you know, really thriving in Red Dead Online. But I think at this point, it would be extremely beneficial because people really, really want a DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2, more so than probably any other game. And there were DLC, well, we had the Undead Nightmare DLC for Red Dead Redemption 1. And I do think there is a lot of room and potential for a DLC. And there's been a lot of leaks regarding potential DLCs and ideas. And I do want to make an actual video about this to discuss it more. But just for a shortened thing, I do think that it's going to happen because not only will it bring a lot of people back to Red Dead Redemption 2, and get people talking about it again and stuff like that, but it'll also provide a lot of content for Red Dead Online, which could bring a massive amount of people back to playing the online side of the game. Whether it's Aliens, Undead Nightmare, whatever, being able to weird up Red Dead Online just a little bit with some of these funkier DLCs that could happen, like Aliens and stuff like that, could really open up the doors for potential content for Red Dead Online. I think that's very important. That's the main reason why I think we are in for a DLC next year. For single player, adding a lot of new weird things to Red Dead Online, allowing the development team to weird things up similarly to how they've been able to weird things up in GTA. And I think that would be an amazing financial decision because you're going to sell a ton of copies. It'll probably be the best-selling DLC in the history of games. And then you'll have a flood of people going back to play that content in Red Dead Online as well. And that's why I think, at the end of the day, we probably are in for a DLC. I don't know what it's going to be, but I do think it's going to happen. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I love reading your guys' comments, as long as they're constructive and not just screaming, because that happens a lot. But I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in the next one.